This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my final video this week. I took a look at the Saudi Cup and the Honeybee Stakes in my first two videos this week. Now on the road to the Kentucky Derby, I'm going to do the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn Park for Saturday, February 25th. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. And if you're interested in bonus free selections, head on over to horseracingnation.com, a daily best bets blog that I've done there for many years. You can find that daily best bets blog on the front page in the handicapping section at horseracingnation.com. And if you're interested in my full card analysis at Santa Anita Park, you won't find Santa Anita full cards this week because they canceled due to poor weather. But I will be covering the 12 race Rebel Day full card from Oaklawn Park for Saturday, February 25th. You will find that at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page. My Santa Anita Park full cards will resume next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed that the weather is going to be better in Southern California, and those full cards will get back in action. So now let's get into the analysis of this video. I'm going to be doing the 11th race at Oaklawn Park for Saturday, February 25th of the Grade 2 $1 million Rebel Stakes for 3-year-olds traveling 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Scheduled post time 6:23 p.m. Eastern Time. We have an interesting, decent field size as well. I'm looking at number 1 of Verifying to probably be the one to beat in here. I think a lot of people are going to pick this one on top. We'll have to see if I pick this one on top. Stay tuned to the end for my top choice and my wagering strategies. But this one won the career debut, 6 furlongs at Saratoga. Nice win going wire to wire that day last August. Second time out, the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes, a 1-turn mile, stalked, led, and ended up finishing second there. Blazing Sevens won that one for trainer Chad Brown. He ran into Forte, Cave Rock, and National Treasure in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Raced evenly. He was sitting in mid-pack and couldn't really make a late impact, though. And then he started to lose ground in the stretch, and he finished 6th, beating 12 lengths in that 10-horse field. Did not have a good start at all that day, and he just wasn't able to get involved like he did in his earlier races. He did get involved in his last race, when he came off of a layoff in his first race as a 3-year-old, that optional claiming a local race at Oaklawn Park at 1 mile on January 14th. He stalked from second. He took over. He won by more than 5 lengths. The runner-up and the show finisher were both next out winners, and that runner-up is running in here as well. But Verifying looks solid for trainer Brad Cox. This one is a son of Justify, and he should probably save ground stalking the pace. I don't think they're going to try to go to the lead in here. There are some others that have speed, and they paid $775,000 for this one. Florent Giroux will ride for the first time, and he wins races with this barn. So look for a ground-saving stalking trip. Number 2 is Powerful, and he's one that should be right up on the pace for trainer Steve Asmussen. This one is a son of Nyquist. His career debut, Saratoga, at 6 furlongs, and in that race last summer, he stalked and he surged late, but he missed by a head. Good effort. Second time out, he battled on the pace all the way around the track, and he prevailed by a half length. The Breeders' Futurity, he stretched out after 2 sprints, but he was out in post 13, and he broke slow, and that was it for him. He just was never able to get involved. He was wide. He couldn't get up there like he likes to. He was 48-1, and he just didn't run well. He added blinkers last time. The Ed Brown Stakes, 6.5 furlongs. He was turning back, and again, he battled on the pace, and he had a half-length lead, and he just would not give up, and he was able to prevail again by a length. So he's one that likes to get out there and really battle. They paid $525,000 for this one, and he should be all over the pace. Number 3, Red Route 1. This is a gun runner colt for trainer Steve Asmussen. Tappet is the Dan sire, and he's one that likes to run late, and at 10-1, he looks like a good exotics threat. Second time out, he graduated in a turf route last year at Kentucky Downs, and then the Breeders' Futurity Stakes from post 10. He was along to finish 3rd there at 59-1. In the Street Scent Stakes in the slop, he was 5th, beaten 13 lengths. He was jostled at the start. He just didn't run his best race that day. And then in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, he had a troubled trip. He was in traffic, and he ended up finishing 4th, beaten 1.5 lengths. Instant Coffee won that one, came back and won the Lecomte Stakes. Red Route 1 was only a head and a nose out of second, and then he came back in the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes, and he ran into a monster Bob Baffert trainee, Arabian Night, and that one dominated on the front end by more than 5 lengths. Red Route 1 rallied from 10 lengths back to finish a clear second. So he's one that certainly he can handle any footing. He did handle slop there. He didn't handle it in the street sense, but he handled it there. He can handle fast track. He handles turf. He can kind of anything you throw at him, he just tries hard from off the pace. And he should get pace help, and I can definitely see him hitting the board in here. Gun Pilot, another Steve Asmussen trainee, another son of Gun Runner, and he's not done much wrong in his 3 starts. 3 starts, 2 wins and a second. He was able to, in his career debut from post 11, prompt the pace, press outside, take the lead, and win by 3 lengths, 7 furlongs. Never easy to win at 7 furlongs first time out. He was 11-1. He overperformed that day. They added Lasix second time out. He ran into Verifying. Now, Verifying was a horse that already had stakes experience. He had run in the Breeders' Cup. He had run in the Champagne Stakes. Gun Pilot only had that one career win as a 2-year-old, so was making his 3-year-old debut, and he didn't run poorly at all. He set the pace from the inside post. He was clearly second best behind Verifying, and then Gun Pilot came back and he won. And I liked how he won last time, a 1-mile race at Oaklawn. He didn't battle on the lead this time. He was able to sit a comfortable stalking trip, and then he kicked away to win by 2. So he's one that if he can sit that kind of trip in here, at 8-1, he's a little interesting. Giant Mischief is the next one for trainer Brad Cox. This one is a son of Into Mischief. Giant Oak is the dam sire. Hasn't done much wrong in his career. We'll just have to see how far he actually wants to go. In his career debut in Indiana, it's 5.5 furlongs. He rallied from off the pace, 6th in the 7-horse field, to win by 1.5 lengths. He was the favorite there. He had Lasix. He did not have Lasix in his second career start. That was at Keeneland at 7 furlongs. And in that race, stalked the pace from the inside post, and he prevailed nicely by 3/4 length. He beat Arabian Lion that day, and those two were 17 lengths clear of the rest. He was my top choice in the Springboard Mile last time out. That 1-mile race at Remington Park on December 17th. I thought he was going to sit a good stalking trip, probably like a lot of people did, but he blew the break there. He was clearly last early. He had to really make up some ground. He made a quick move, a quick wide move to get in contention, heading around that far turn, and he just kept plugging away. The winner just sat a great inside stalking trip, and Giant Mischief blew the break, was wide, and he never gave up, and he was slowly getting to the winner in the late going. He was clearly second best. Now the question is, how much is he going to be able to sustain his run? How much further will he be able to go? They paid $475,000 for him. They thought he was going to be good. He certainly started out great. I want to see him set a nice patient trip here, but not blowing the break this time. And I think he's got a decent shot. Irad Ortiz Jr. will ride him for the first time. Reincarnate is the next one. This one is a son of Good Magic, and Scat Daddy is the dam sire, and he hasn't done anything wrong. 5 starts, 2 wins in 3 seconds, all in Southern California. Back-to-back runner-up finishes in turf routes to begin his career. Bob Baffert wasn't known as a turf trainer, so when I just think he wanted the distance more than anything else there. And then moving to the main track, he was second after stalking the pace, coming late, only finishing 3/4 length back. That was on November 4th, and then he graduated, battling on the pace from the inside post and prevailing by 3/4 length over Mr. Fisk, his stablemate, and that one was a next out winner. And Reincarnate was a next out winner in the Grade 3 Sham Stakes at 1 mile on dirt. Again, battled on the pace all the way around. He defeated Newgate. Newgate came back and won the Robert Lewis Stakes, but unfortunately he's off the Derby Trail. He got injured. And then National Treasure, Bob Baffert trainee, was a close third there, and he's a quality horse as well. He was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So Reincarnate, good speed figures, especially last time. It's interesting. I saw an article on DRF and how this one was named. The owner was a fan of Holy Bull, and this one looked a lot like Holy Bull, so he called him Reincarnate. I got to see Holy Bull when I was living in Kentucky when he was on the breeding farm, and throw some pictures of him up there. And this horse, he's a fighter. He'll get out there and he'll give you a good battle, and he's going to be part of the pace. But the problem is that other horses like to be on the pace, and I think the pace is going to be quick. Another horse that's going to be on the pace is the 7, Confidence Game. This one is a son of Candy Ride. Keith Desarmo can be dangerous with shippers. He's a profitable trainer. His horses typically offer good value, and they overperform at times. He doesn't win a lot of graded stakes, but he will get some horses in the graded stakes ranks that will at least hit the board. and spice up the exotics. And this one's going to try to do that. He's fairly consistent. He's run 6 times. He's finished in the top 3 in 5 of his 6 starts. He was third, beating 13 lengths in his debut. He rallied from off the pace. He wired the field second time out. In the Iroquois Stakes, he was 5th of 9, wide trip. He was second, beaten 7 lengths in his next start back in Optional Claiming Company. Again, he wired the field at Churchill Downs in an optional claiming race late last year to end his 2-year-old season. And then to start his 3-year-old season, he finished 3rd in the Grade 3 Lecomte Stakes. Instant Coffee, 2 fills were 1-2 there. This one, his running style is the main problem I think I have with him, that he likes to be up there, and so do multiple other horses. Talladega is another one that could get involved. We'll have to see if he does under Flavien Prat. He did ride him to a wire-to-wire victory on a wet fast track last time as the favorite at Oaklawn in a maiden special weight race at a mile and a 16th. His speed figure really jumped up that day. His first 3 starts, he was 7th by 16, 3rd by 7, and 5th by 11. He did rally from 10th place in his second career start. So I don't know what kind of style that they want to use, but that speed worked for him last time, and they paid $850,000 for this horse. It's just a question of what kind of style is he going to be able to use to be effective in this spot. Number 9, Event Detail, is going to switch surfaces for trainer Paula Lobo. This one is a son of City of Light, and he's run 3 times, and he's improved in all 3 of his races. His first start was a 6.5 furlongs on third. He stalked, he weakened to finish 6th in a 10-horse field. He finished 2nd, rallying from 11th place in an all-weather route second time out. And then from post 11, he won easily from off the pace in an all-weather route last time. So now we're going to see how he can handle dirt again, because in his career debut, he didn't run particularly well on dirt, but he really ran well in his last 2 starts. He can close ground. They paid $600,000 for him. I think you can use him in the exotics. Bourbon Bash is next for trainer D. Wayne Lucas, another son of City of Light, but he's still eligible for an entry-level allowance spot. He's 1 for 8 with 3 seconds and a third. He's run twice at Oaklawn with a second and a third. And the second and thirds were in his last 2 starts. In the Renaissance Stakes, he finished 3rd at 6 furlongs. He stretched out, he stalked, he led, and he was 2nd behind Gun Pilot last time out at 1 mile. Now, he's going to lose Lasix because he did have Lasix in those last 2 starts. He's got some decent tactical speed. Just don't know what he's best at this point. He broke his maiden gone wire to wire in a sprint race at Saratoga last summer, and then he ran decently in that Renaissance Stakes, and he hit the board in another stakes race at Keeneland last fall. He was 2nd in a stakes race on October 29th, but he did handle a mile last time, but he did lose ground to the winner in the stretch. I love the post position. I think he has to improve. Frosted Departure rounds out the field. This son of Frosted for trainer Ken McPeak has run 10 times already, 3 wins and 2 third-place finishes. One of those third-place finishes was in the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes. Arabian Night dominated that one. Red Route 1 was clearly second best. Frosted Departure chased the pace from 2nd, and he finished a solid 3rd in that race. It was in the slop, and he was 46-1. Prior to that, he had Lasix in the Renaissance Stakes, and he won that one at 9-1. If you look at his overall form, his sprint races seem to be better than his other races. From that outside post with other speed, I don't really know what kind of trip we can expect at all from this one. I think he's going to try to get involved early, but I don't really think he has a good shot in here from that post based on the race shape. Verifying certainly the one to beat. I think a lot of people will pick that one, and I would not be surprised if he won it all. I'm going to go with Giant Mischief. Now, I know that I am concerned about the distance with this one. I just don't know if he really wants to go 2 turns, but I'm not worried about the Kentucky Derby at this point. Some people may say, well, he's not a Derby horse because they don't think he can get the distance, but this isn't the Kentucky Derby distance of 1.25 miles. It's only 1 mile and a 16th. He handled a mile last time, but we just really didn't learn too much because he blew the break there. But I like that long sustained run, and then he didn't give up in the stretch. He did make that run to get in contention. Like I said, the winner just had a great inside trip. This one, not the greatest trip at all, and he was still able to be clearly second best. I think he was best that day, and he's one that still has upside for Brad Cox. I don't know that 1 mile and a 16th is going to be a huge problem for him. The race should set up for a patient runner, and I would expect Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to give him a good ride. It's just a question of if he's good enough, and I'm going to take a shot that he is. I liked him last time. I'm going to give him another shot around 2 turns. So Giant Mischief will be my top choice in the Rebel Stakes. And here's how I will play this race. I'll make a win wager on Giant Mischief. I'll play an exacta. I'm going to use Verifying and Giant Mischief on top. And then I'll have Red Route 1 in second in this exacta. So the exacta will be 1-5 with 1-3-5. And then I will key Red Route 1 in third in the trifecta. And that trifecta will be 1-4-5-6, 1-4-5-6 with 3. So I'm going to be using Verifying, Gun Pilot, and then I'm going to use Giant Mischief and Reincarnate on top in first and second in that trifecta. And then, as I said, I'm keying Red Route 1 in third. I think he's got a good shot to hit the board based on the race shape of this race. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content. Check out my YouTube channel each week. I'll be back with all these Oaks and Derby points races just like I do every season.